Hi, this is our group's project. Our tool we designed was designed to help DHL optimize their spend across marketing techniques. So the first sheet that I'd like to demonstrate is the list of raw data. This includes data about, for example, the referral source, which is how they were referred to DHL's hiring, and the disposition code, which was whether they were hired or not. The next sheet that I'd like to demonstrate is our summary tables of conversion rates. So in this first table, it has data on every single referral source that there is in the table data sheet. So this can be anything from billboards to Columbus Dispatch across all of their media channels. It can be the job fairs that DHL has, and it can even be the radio. Each of these referral sources corresponds to a specific marketing code. So this simply serves to narrow down the list of categories that we have to consider. So through some formulas in Excel, we then come up with this second table, which includes data about the number of applicants, the number that were eventually hired, and the conversion rate across each marketing code platform. This data is then graphed in this graph below, that's right below the second table. And as you can see here, certain numbers do tend to pop out, such that postcards have an unusually high conversion rate, and that some others are especially lower, like TV and radio ads. Now the next sheet that I'd like to demonstrate is the marketing costs. So again, there is a table of referral sources and applicants, and there's a similar table of marketing code. Only the difference here is that it has not only the number of applicants, but the total cost associated with each platform, and most importantly, the cost per applicant. This cost per applicant column represents the amount that DHL spends in order to bring in each person that applied through their job system. So one number that tends to stick out here is that social media has a total cost per applicant of almost $5,000. This is partly due to the fact that we only have data on 2 applicants that were brought in through social media, and thus it does tend to stand out in the graph. As we can see, most applicants were brought in via friends and family, and the second most was through yard signs by a large margin. The next sheet that I would like to demonstrate is the marketing strategies. This sheet allows us to slice through the disposition codes, what stage in the hiring process they made it to, and view data about them in the forms of these graphs. So as you can see here, when I click the hired button, the graphs then summarize all of the data on applicants that were successfully hired through DHL. This provides us valuable insights as to which hiring platforms are the most successful, and which ones aren't as successful, as we see here when we click on, for example, failed interview. The Columbus Dispatch is most likely to bring in applicants that fail the interview. And as you can see here, we could go through other things such as, applicants that just simply weren't interested, that had their offers extended, and just ones that didn't have hours that could match up. Now we're onto the main interface. This interface allows us to, after optimizing the hiring based on this user form, determine the amount of money that we should spend across each marketing platform. So the first step to configuring this is to determine the minimum amount you want to spend on a certain hiring decision. on a certain platform. So I would say, you know, the minimum that I want to spend across any marketing platform would be $800. Next, I would enter my total budget across marketing platforms. I would say that could be something like $100,000. Here we can determine the maximum percentage of our budget that we want to spend. I would like to say that's around 25%. And then for the purpose of this demonstration, we will include a uniformity level of low, which we'll see what that does later. Okay, now we're going to click solve. And then we will get our results. Now it looks like here, yard signs, since they were shown to be the most effective in any kind of marketing decision, the most money was allocated towards yard signs. The second most was awarded to friends and family. But as we can see here, only the minimum amount was spent on some of these marketing strategies. So this graph tends to lean very heavily towards the winners and not so much towards the losers. So then let's try that again. So instead of low, we're going to choose something like medium or medium high. Let's try medium high and see what it does. So now we have a solution that looks a little more even across platforms and allows the losers to also have their chance at bringing in applicants. So as we can see here, the highest are still yard signs and friends and family, but things like social media and the building signs, which didn't have as much ad spend before, now are having more money allocated towards them. This uniformity level, what we call it, determines how close, or rather the spread of how much we spend between the highest and the lowest categories. So if you're not sure about what to do with that, you could keep it on medium, or if you want no spread at all, if you want no influence on the algorithm, then you can just hit low. So I'm going to solve it with medium, and we can see that this is the total amount you should spend across each marketing strategy to optimize the total hires. That's all I have. Thank you.